Hi, this is Jack from Maths Forge, and in today's lesson we are doing geometric sequences. A geometric sequence is a sequence of numbers that increases or decreases by multiplication or division. So let's take a look at our first example. Here we're being asked to find the next term in the following sequence. Well, I can see that from 16 to 8, it's being divided by 2. And let's see if this works from 8 to 4. Divided by 2, yes it does, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the next term in the sequence, we can get to it by dividing with another 2. And 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. So if we check our answer, there it is. We'll do another 1-star example. Here we can see that from 2 to 10, it's increasing. And since it's a geometric sequence, it's going to be increasing by times 5. And from 10 to 50, again, this is times 5. So the next term in this sequence, we can get to it by multiplying the previous term with 5. 50 times 5 gives us 250. And if we check our answer, there it is. Now let's do a 2-star example. Here we're being asked to find the first 4 terms of this nth term. Now this nth term produces a sequence when you input values for n, this power over here. To get the first term in the sequence, we are going to replace n with 1. So to get our first term, we're going to take the nth term, which is 6 times 4 to the power of n. But instead of n, I'm going to write 1. So we're going to do 6 times 4 to the power of 1 is 4. And 6 times 4 is 24. So this is the first term in our sequence. To get the next term in the sequence, I'm going to take this n and equal it to 2 now. So now we have for our nth term, 6 times 4 to the power of 2. And this simplifies to give us 6 times 4 squared is 16. And 6 times 16 is 96. So this is the second term in our sequence. We're going to do this again with n is equal to 3 and n is equal to 4. Because they have asked us to find the first 4 terms. So when n is equal to 3, we're going to have 6 times 4 to the power of 3. And this simplifies to give us 6 times 4 to the power of 3 is 64. And 6 times 64 is going to give us 384. So this is going to be the third term in our sequence. And now for the final 4th term in our sequence, we're going to have 6 times 4 to the power of 4. And this simplifies to give us 6 times 4 to the power of 4 is 256. And 6 times 256 is 1536. And this is the 4th term in our sequence. And if we check our answer, there it is. 24, 96, 384, and finally 1536. We'll now do a 3-star example. Here we're being asked to find the nth term of the following sequence. So to find the nth term of the sequence, you first need to find what is known as the common ratio. The common ratio is a number you multiply or divide to get to the next term in the sequence. So what do we multiply by 24 to get to 192? A quick way of doing this is to take your 192 and the number before it, which is 24, and divide them. 192 divided by 24. This gives us 8. And just to make sure that we are multiplying by 8 each time to get to the next term, we're going to do this with the next 2 numbers. So 1536 divided by the number just before it, which is 192. And of course, if you calculate this, this also gives us 8. So the common ratio for this sequence is times 8. Now this times 8, the common ratio, is what makes up the second part of your nth term, which is going to be times 8 to the power of n. And this is how you write the second part of your nth term. So now you must be wondering, okay, how do we get the first part of the nth term? How we do this is by going to the first term, 24, and going backwards by 1. If we multiply by 8 to get to the next term to the right, then we have to divide by 8 to get to the term before it. And 24 divided by 8 gives us 3. Now, I like to call this term here the ghost term, because it's not really a term in this sequence, as the first term is 24. But this ghost term is what makes up the first part of our nth term, so it's going to be 3. And this here is our nth term for this geometric sequence, 3 times 8 to the power of n. And if we check our answer, there it is. And that's it for the lesson on geometric sequences.